Workers in Guyana observed Labor Day on May 1st amidst cries from more than 400 whose jobs were at stake. Under the banner of the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Guyana, FITUG, sugar workers walked in tandem with government workers and others towards the national park, where they assembled to listen to their leaders. All of the speakers at the May Day rally condemned recent cuts to the national budget, spearheaded by the opposition parliamentary parties.
In May last year, momentous events took place in our country. One of the most significant, no doubt, is the holding of the national and regional elections. I was pleased to note that violence, as in several others before, did not mar this one. What is somewhat disappointing, however, is the representation of the working people, the bulk of our electorate in Parliament, a reasonable contingent of whom could very well bring to bear the real-life experiences, hope and concerns of the working man and women to the discussions in that august body, especially nowadays. As we meet on this May Day, you will know the consideration of the 2012 budget concluded in Parliament a few days ago. But the debate is continuing outside, in the streets, in our communities and villages. One person remarked to me that what we saw those past days was parliamentary theatrics. But if it were, then the shown display was certainly a tragedy. It brought tears to the eyes and will snuff out the hopes and dreams of many. In one fell swoop, over $20 billion from the proposed 2012 budget was guillotined by the combined parliamentary opposition.
The elections gave us an opportunity to prove that we put Guyana first. And by putting Guyana first, we ought to work together, both opposition and government, for the development of this country. And I will take the liberty to say, for the continued development of this country. But there were those who believe that that should never be. There were those who believe that families should be left breadless, no bread on the table. There were those who believed that mothers should not send their children to school. And there were those who believed that they had no money so that children will be on the breadline. Those persons who man those political parties that refer to themselves as the opposition, we need to send a message loud and clear. And that message should be that we gave them our votes because we thought it was wise. Now we regret it, and the time will come when we will take it back. When the budget came out, FITUG was the first to say that the budget is a walking people's budget. We didn't say it was the best, but we say it's a budget that we can live with for now, because next year things could be better. There are 22 trade unions in this country. No other trade union came out and said anything. Are they asleep or are they blind? And I think it is said somewhere that they have eyes and yet they see it not.
Nevertheless, as the union leaders stressed on the needs of the workers and the move towards making their lives better, President of Guyana, Donald Ramotar, pointed out the fact that the division in the labor movement in Guyana has created the opportunity for the opposition to divide the country. Regardless, he assured workers whose jobs were at risk that the government of Guyana fully supports them and would not allow the opposition to get away with their program of recklessness and irresponsibility.
I hope that my opponents will find enough patriotism in themselves to realize what they're doing. But I cannot understand them saying that what they did will not affect workers, government workers. I am upset as much as Carvil for what they're trying to do to government workers. People, ordinary people who have families, who have bills to pay, some have mortgages to pay. How can they say that by cutting NCN and cutting GINA to $1, by cutting the Ethnic Relations Commission to $1, how can they say that it will not affect working class people? I am at a loss to understand their logic, and I can only conclude that they're being motivated by vindictiveness, by revenge, and possibly even by hate by such actions that they have been doing in our country today. The $6 billion that we proposed for GPL was mainly going to subsidize the fuel that GPL was using. And we did not need the APNU and AFC to tell us about deficiency. We are already investing in a 69 kV line from Crawford Creek all the way to Porica to reduce losses, line losses. We are right now, already we have a cable under the Demerara River to energize Region 3 so that we can cut back on expenses there and mothball the plan that exists on the west bank of Demerara. All of that we explained to them, and the fact is we want to do these things while protecting workers' welfare by preventing them, by not passing on to them rates increases. We explained that to them. Our members in Parliament, the Prime Minister answered every single one of their questions in Parliament. Not a single question was avoided. We answered all their questions, yet they took away $1 billion in subsidy from GPL. How is that pro-working class? What are they telling us? That we should raise the rates on workers? Is that the message that they're giving us? Even though we give them elaborate explanations and all of these, even though at the end of it, they could not find any fault with our arguments. Today, I hear Granger saying that he's willing to talk, that he's willing to give us, to pass these things in the Parliament if we give him what he wants. Well, what does he want? To give workers a better life. What do I have to give him to have better life for workers in our country? I say anyone who has interest in the working class should have supported that budget unconditionally. There cannot be any condition. What does he want me to give when they cut the LCDS? Not only are they jeopardizing the hydropower that will give everybody in this country eventually the same rate as Linden, but they're also affecting employment, our distribution of solar panels to the Aboriginal community. It is also affecting the demarcation of their lands, and it is also affecting millions of United States dollars coming to Guyana, millions of dollars coming here so that we can lend small loan to small people, more than $10 million US they will prevent from coming into this country. What do I have to give to Granger for him to come to the table and make this possible for the Guyanese working people? What do I have to give him to support something as noble as this that can only bring benefit to Guyana? I don't think he believes that he and I can sit there and run the country as if it was a casino. I refuse to be part of that. We must deal with what is good and what is right for Guyana. Not what is good for the PPP and what is good for the PNC, what is good for APNU and what is good for the AFC. The bottom line must be what is good for the people of this country. The fact that the labor movement is divided, that has made it possible for Granger, Ramjatan, and the others to do what they did in Parliament, to cut the budget that affects working people. It is because of your division that they have done so. Had the working class been united in Guyana, they would never have risked this. But that division has emboldened them. If you go back to the past to see what they did to workers when they were in government, today, in opposition, they're showing very clearly who they are. I say to you, comrades, we must not judge a man, and we must not judge a political party by what they say of themselves, but we must judge them by their actions. And the actions that were taken by the AFC and APNU in the Parliament has clearly shown that the anti-working class spirit is very deep in these people. In fact, I will tell you something more that I have never said before. When we were discussing VAT, I explained to them that we are not opposed to cut VAT, but we want it to be done in a scientific way. We wanted us to know what is the impact. After all, if you look at the demands that they have been making, it has always been to spend more in some areas, to cut revenue in different areas, and there is not a single proposal, probably only one proposal, where you can save money when they're saying that it will not help them. The money will go into the pockets of the upper earning brackets. And one of them said to me, Mr. Ramjatan said to me across the table, what is wrong in giving a big shot something more too? And nothing is wrong with that, but how can you do that at the expense of the low-income people? Comrades and friends, we have come a long way from 1992. I want to promise you that the PPP civic government will continue to defend workers. We are going to stick by our agreements. I still look forward to speak with the opposition, but not to come to make deals. They must come for us to talk about how we can develop the productive capacity of our country.
Workers from the Government Information Agency, One Laptop Per Family, and Office of the President, whose jobs are at stake, joined the Workers' Solidarity Rally with their colleagues from FITUG. Director of GINA ably represented his members of staff and the position they now face.
We have come out here this morning to be part of the May Day parade. It's the first time that we've been officially in the parade, and this is to show solidarity with all the staff, not only at GINA but at the other agencies that have had their budgets cut, putting staff jobs in serious jeopardy. And as we start a new month, it is very difficult to understand what will be the way forward. The point I want to make also is that when we look around the world and we see countries, for example, Spain right now, what is going on there, where some governments are forced to make cuts that are affecting people. We saw what happened in Greece and many other countries where, because of economic situations, governments are forced to do things that have direct effect in a negative way to workers. Here in Guyana is the reverse. We're not in a recession. The country is booming. Economic growth has been sustained over the years. And here we have the opposition that is moving to implement these cuts at the detriment of workers and of the country. And I'm wondering, what was the thinking behind all of this? So we can only hope that better sense will prevail and that this show of support here from all the workers and all those who've supported us will go a far way in helping to change the mindsets of those who seem hell-bent in wanting to take away jobs and then say that they have no apologies for it.